This video is brought to you by Brazil Resources, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol BRI, and on the OTCQX International Market under BRIZF. Brazil Resources just announced an agreement to acquire 100% of the Cachoeira project from Luna Gold Corp. The deal terms imply BRI is paying $18 an ounce for gold in an emerging gold district in northern Brazil, located near BRI's other 3 gold projects. The company is 35% institutionally owned, with 16% of outstanding shares held by the KCR fund, controlled by Doug Casey, Rick Rule, and Marin Katusa. The geological team has earlier discovered more than 10 million ounces of gold directly in Brazil, and is led by successful mining CEO Amir Adnani. To learn more about Brazil Resources, visit BrazilResources.com or call 855-630-1001. Thank you for joining us at FutureMoneyTrends.com. I'm here with Andy Schectman. He runs MilesFranklin.com. He's a bullion dealer. You can go to it and check him out for yourself. Great deals on gold and silver. We were just talking before the interview, there are some companies out there, I'm not going to mention their names, but they advertise on TV, the news channels. They're out there. People are buying them, but they've got some tricks.
Yeah, they have a lot of gimmicks, loss leaders. They'll offer a gold eagle at a very inexpensive price. You'll call to purchase the gold eagle, and they'll tell you that there are better things to buy, like proof gold eagles, like Swiss 20 francs, British sovereigns. And, you know, those are all fine products if you buy them at the right price, but these companies sell these coins at extraordinarily high prices. And I guess if you have the recommendation of Glenn Beck, if you're on these shows, Rush Limbaugh, what have you, that I guess the implication is that you have credibility. They are very overpriced. Goldline was under investigation for price gouging at one point. So, you know, I suppose that there are some good companies out there that are on TV, but the bottom line is that when you're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to advertise on Fox TV, that has to come out of the bottom line somehow, some way. So I'd be a little bit leery of those companies, regardless of how often you see them and the exposure. Be a little leery of those that are advertising on, in particular on Fox, because the costs are very, very high. When people buy the metals, they see a huge rally and they go, well, what if I want to sell some of my metals? What's the best way to sell precious metals if you're an individual? Well, hopefully you bought them through us. And if you did, we guarantee the highest bid price in America. We don't charge a buyback commission. It's been in our literature for 20 years if the metal was bought from us. The only way to sell back metal, if you're selling it to a company, is by registered and insured mail. It's the only way that you can securely and safely send back your product. UPS and FedEx won't insure it if they know what's in it, and their insurance programs are much less anyway. You want to, when you're selling things back, I think want to be very quick in packaging it up and sending them back, and with us, you'd call us up, you'd lock it in. We would lock it in before you even send it back, as long as we trust you. Put the package in the mail, by registered and insured, we'll send you a check right away. It's pretty easy. The only drawback is that there's $25,000 maximum insurance with the post office. So if you're talking a large amount of money, it can be a little cumbersome. We can help clients, show them ways to use supplemental insurance and what have you. But for most people, registered and insured mail with a reputable company, and you'll be okay. With this recent move in precious metals, is this kind of, we've been in the doldrums for quite some time. Silver obviously had a huge pullback. Do you think that's behind us now, and we're now back going to see silver maybe move towards the 40 area, maybe gold closer to 2,000? It sure feels that way. The demand all of a sudden is huge. You can sense something has changed, and if I had to guess, I'd say yes. I mean, it looks like, you know, we certainly have defined a gold bottom at 1540, 1550, wherever it was, and silver at 27, 28, and it took forever to bust out of those numbers. But technically speaking, yeah, we're through the moving averages. But just the feel in the air, you can feel that there's a definite uptick in what's happening. So yeah, you know, you got guys like Eric Spratt who are saying that gold will better 2,000 by the end of the year. He's been saying that for a long time. Looked like that was kind of a brazen statement for a while, but all of a sudden it doesn't look too far-fetched. Are you guys seeing a lot more traffic as far as have your phone calls and orders gone up 20%? I mean, substantially. Substantially. The funny thing is that, you know, when the price drops, our phones go up. when or ring off the hook, and when the price goes up, our phones ring off the hook. It's that doldrum that you speak of. It's that non-movement. It's that trading range that it kind of gets people just wondering if maybe they should be on the sidelines. So movement up or down is generally good for this industry. Right now, the movement up has created quite a buzz, really has quite a buzz.
How about big buyers? Any big buyers coming in this market?
Huge. Biggest that we've ever had. Used to be a 7-figure order was, if you did one a year, you were happy. We're doing several a month. So it's a lot of new players into the game, a lot of new clients, people who are waking up for the first time to precious metals, finally starting to sense that something is amiss, even if they can't articulate it, what it is, that they don't feel easy about or feel right about. You're starting to see, I think, the concept of precious metals is starting to permeate into larger circles, if you will.
Eric Sprott a few years ago brought up a point in one of his speeches that for every $7 that went into GLD, $1 went into SLV. As far as dollar value, what is that? Is it like 60% of your sales of dollar value is gold and 40% is silver? What are people buying?
If we talk dollar value, yeah, just because of the ratio, it's always going to skew gold. But if we talk numbers of orders, most people buy silver. To be honest with you, I mean, gold is expensive. It's undervalued, but it's expensive for a lot of people. It doesn't take, but you could do 20 silver sales and have one gold sale, dollar value, beat it. But
yeah.
Point is that most people, I would say, in terms of our orders, it's probably 65-70% silver, 35, 25, 30% gold. And so I think there's a lot of people out there that are strongly convicted in the potential of silver. I'm one of them. I think silver really has fantastic potential, but gold is certainly going to be more steady in its ascent as the central banks are accumulating it. It's not going to have the volatility, both up and down, that silver will. But I think if you're looking to make money in this industry, which is something that to me is kind of a foreign concept, I don't sell gold and silver to make money, although it would be disingenuous to say that in the back of my mind I don't notice it. But if you're looking to make money, it's in silver, in my opinion.
When it comes to silver, there's a lot of talk about possible shortages one day. Have several investors demand delivery on the Comex. Do you foresee a shortage in the Comex? And if you did, how would that affect the bullion industry?
Well, a shortage in the Comex, I think, is something that'll probably happen at some point. I think the Comex will self-destruct as people are pulling as much metal off as they possibly can. It wouldn't surprise me if the Comex stopped allowing people to pull metal off before that happens. But any disruption in the futures market, like we saw with MF Global and PF&G, when you see that type of disruption where companies can't hedge their positions, this market will grind to a halt. One of the things that I think makes doing business with us good is that we lock things in on verbal handshakes with people. So you're a client of mine, you call me up, you say I want to buy $50,000 worth of gold, and without making you deposit that money on account and clear, I'll say sure. I'll lock it in, and then I'll hedge my position with the futures contract. If I can't do that any longer, if that's an inability, taking in positions of inventory become impossible, and locking things in for clients prior to receiving good funds becomes impossible. And then it's a race to get the product once the funds clear. So it would change the landscape of the industry perhaps more than anything.
In closing, you guys have hired somebody by the name of Andy Hoffman. He goes by Ranting Andy. He is all over the internet now, terrorizing mining stocks.
Right.
People who wanted to buy a mining
right.
share. Where did you meet Andy? I mean, Andy is he's kind of becoming pretty famous on the internet these days.
Andy Hoffman's the smartest guy I know. Andy Hoffman is one of the best guys I know. We read Andy Hoffman on Le Metropole Cafe, and in my heart I think it's important to give props to Bill Murphy and Chris Powell. the proprietors of Le Metropole Cafe and Gata, guys that, by the way, that I think we all of us who believe in gold and silver owe a large debt of gratitude to for their tireless efforts. But Andy was a big contributor on Le Metropole Cafe and became a regular piece of our newsletter. We would just quote him. I was at one of these shows, and a guy comes up to me and he says, "You know, you're quoting my neighbor in your newsletter a lot." And I said, "Really? Who's your neighbor?" He says, "Well, it's Andy Hoffman." One thing led to another. I contacted Andy. We flew out to Colorado and negotiated a deal, and it's the best deal I ever did in 23 years of business. So Andy to me is invaluable. Honest guy, straightforward guy, brilliant guy, good friend, and someone that I hope is with Miles Franklin and as long as he wants to be.
Well, you guys are great people, and you've assembled a great team.
Appreciate
Thanks so
that.
much for taking the time
Of
with
course,
us.
my pleasure.
You have a good day.
Absolutely. You too.